Welcome to the Paulding County Board of Commissioners October 25th, 2016 board meeting. We thank all of you for being here and trying to see if there's any elected officials out in the crowd. There's not.
City of Dallas.
I'm sorry?
Councilman Mike Casey.
Oh!
That's right, baby. I'm hiding in
You want to do something on a software routine?
No, at this time, sir. Maybe at a later date.
Thank you for being here. I just didn't see you. I'll remind you to turn off your devices. Marcia, will you bring the sign-in sheet for me? This evening, we will do the presentation of colors by Cub Scout Pack 687, followed by our invocation with Pastor Thomas Cope with North Paulding Baptist Church. Would you stand with me if you're able?
Those colors. Salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Retreat.
Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we come to you once again today, Lord. We're thankful that you never tire of hearing us call on your name. And Father, we know that you're not just listening to the words that we say, but you know the heart of every person in this room. Lord, I pray for each person here. I pray that this meeting tonight would be done in accordance to your will and everything that is said and done to be pleasing in your sight. Lord, I not only pray for our county leaders that are standing here before you, Lord, but all of our county leaders and workers all across our police department, our sheriff department, our marshals department, our firefighters, God, all those that work so hard and give them their time to keep us safe. Lord, I know as this election is coming up and people are already casting their votes, I pray that all people would remember that you're in control of all things, God, that you have a plan. Lord, continue to use that plan in this county to help us to grow and prosper as we should. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings of life, but the greatest thing we can thank you for is your Son Jesus, and it's in his name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I'll hit check on what the pastor said. 2,078 voted today. That may be a record, and we have a total vote cumulative 13,227. So people are really turning out to early vote. And let you all know that you will be able to vote this coming Saturday in this building from 9 to 4. So just letting the public be aware. Minutes action on October 11th, 2016 work session minutes and October 11th, 2016 board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Announcement, the Prime of Paulding Business Expo, Family Fun Day and Business Expo will be on Saturday, November the 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is presented by Artesian-Built Communities. There's free admission, free activities, music, raffles, giveaways, Kids Zone, Taste of Paulding, other vendors, and this will be hosted at the West Ridge Church. And information is on the back table. We'll also let you know that on November 8th is Election Day. That's our regularly scheduled meeting, so we will move that meeting in November to November 10th at 10 and 2. So make that note that would change to a Thursday. I believe you mentioned to me that today that we have Trick or Treat Village this coming Saturday from
2 to 7?
2 to 7. So it's always a fun day to be out with 10,000 of your greatest friends. No invited guests, bid awards, action to award 2016 flashing yellow arrow traffic signal upgrades to the low bidder, American Lighting and Signalization Incorporated, in the amount of $185,649.90 for left turn flashing arrow installations at 9 various intersections in Paulding County. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Scott, you had a good day today. The opening of the 4-lane of Bill Caruth completely now around Ireland. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I guess, if you didn't notice that we didn't quite have it open when we finished our ceremony, they worked through the rest of the afternoon, and I think everything went well. So, imagine people are waving and honking by now and enjoying the ride home.
That's good. They've endured a long time for this to get here, so thank you. It's a good event. Reports from committees and departments, none. Public participation on agenda item. We have one person asking to speak, Mr. K.B. Coggins. Airport fencing.
Sign in.
You don't have to sign it.
Okay, thank you. Not gonna have a whole lot to say on this, other than I think I would be remiss of my duties if I didn't come up here and say that I was opposed to this. We've had some fights, folks. We've had some elections, and elections are supposed to have results. It's supposed to have consequences. When you run on a platform, then I think that you should live up to that platform. All 5 of you. I'm not talking about just 4. I'm talking about all 5 of you. You didn't do it, or you're not going to do it, based on what I'm hearing tonight. Most of you, if not all of you, is going to vote for the fencing. I don't think it's the right thing to do, to sit here tonight and vote on fencing. And every one of you needs to be over at the courthouse tomorrow and hear the airport authorities suit against you. It just don't make a whole lot of sense. You know, I don't think they're in to get along mood myself. I don't think anything's changed. You know, I know that the people that sit here at the airport authority meeting every day, except one, it's the same old folks. One of them sitting here tonight. We have a fight on our hands, men. And it's tough to have to stand up and do some things that you promised that you would do. And all I'm doing is asking you to do what you campaigned on.
Thank you.
Thank you, K.B.
Thank you, KB.
Thank you. Thank you, KB.
5 minutes.
Consent agenda, action on 12 consent agenda items. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
We,
Did we get the change that we were looking for?
Yes, sir.
I think we did, and I talked to Rebecca earlier, I just didn't physically see it. I
She
think,
was gonna send out a new copy, but she did change it to the
That's
second
what-
meeting in September will be September the 21st, which is a
21st.
Thursday.
and then planning and zoning, we did the same thing, so we're good with that.
Yes,
Okay,
and it's noted on the minutes for the work session of the
Okay.
change.
that's good, good deal. Thank y'all.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. There's no old business. Under new business, action to adopt resolution 16-45, a resolution adopting the Paulding County Water System Plan. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Number 2, action to approve First Amendment to the lease agreement with Verizon Wireless. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Number 3, action to authorize the chairman to enter into a contract with Kimberly Horn in the amount of $191,195.69 for engineering design services for Ridge Road at Bob Hunton Road and Corn Store Road intersection improvement project. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I've got a potential conflict of interest on this one, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstention. Ron. Number 4, action to approve Paulding County Airport Authority request for concurrence from the Paulding County Board of Commissioners to proceed with accepting a Georgia DOT grant amount of $300,000 with $100,000 match pay from General Airport Operating Funds to design and construct a wildlife fence around the perimeter of the airport. Is there a motion?
Motion to table until November 8th?
November 10th.
10th.
Yeah.
10th, my bad.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to have some discussion if that's okay. A lot of conversations going on about this topic for the last 3 years. And we've had some pretty good conversations, all of us, with the Airport Authority members here and there. And I think all of the commissioners up here want to support general aviation. I know there's 4 of us that don't want to support the commercial, and we haven't supported the commercial. But we've got a general aviation airport, and we want to support the general aviation airport. There's some things up in the air with this fencing that's brought up a lot of things, and I think Terry did a great job. I met with Terry last Friday, and we spoke for quite a while, met with him this morning, met with him this afternoon, we've talked on the phone, and Terry's doing a great job, and I appreciate it very much. There's a couple things that I'm a little unclear with, and Terry's done a good job of explaining it to me, and maybe I haven't done a good job of understanding, and maybe that's just a lack of something that I have, and so I don't blame that on Terry. This has been something that's been discussed for 3 years, the airport. It's a hot topic item, and I've got a couple things that I would like to have a little bit more time with to get some things clear when it comes to the exemptions, what they can do or not do. We got a letter sent to us last night, Terry, and you and I talked about that this morning. I just want to make sure that we don't do anything that would damage anything for the future, and I would hope that us just tabling it for 2 weeks and 2 days would still allow us the time to discuss it the next couple of weeks and allow us the time for this to come back to this board. I want to keep the discussions open. I want to keep the conversation open. From my understanding, the commissioners up here want to keep that flowing. Am I correct? That we want to keep the conversation going? It's kind of tough at times because only 2 of us can meet, and so sometimes I've got to meet with somebody, and then I've got to share that information with Ron, or Ron's got to go meet with those people, and so it's a little hard. It's not like we can just sit down and have a lunch and talk about things. So I want to be careful how I'm presenting the table in this issue tonight, and I just feel like we need a little bit more time to look at a couple things, and I don't want it to at all come across if this passes to table, that any of us that vote to table it I don't want it to all come across that we don't support general aviation. Okay? We've got an airport out there. We don't agree with what was done 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. But I haven't heard anything but 100% agreement from the commissioners that we're going to and we need to support general aviation and we need to make it successful. And I want that to be clear to the public, and I want it to be clear to Mr. Tibbetts. And I can't say enough how much I appreciate the work that you're doing. I really can't. And I know that me making a motion to table is probably not something that you're happy with, but I want us to continue to keep talking. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say. I just want to get a couple other things cleared up, and I'm hoping that that can happen in the next few days. And I wish I had a couple more days before tonight, but that's already over with. We're here.
Yeah, I came here tonight expecting to vote on this, and I was going to vote yes. When I did run, my campaign promise was to do everything I could to stop commercialization. I am not against general aviation. I don't understand how this could be mistaken for general aviation. It seems to me like if everything's been explained honestly and openly, it's something we need for general aviation. We do need a fence around it to be a good general aviation airport, and my understanding is this fence cannot be used for the TSA fence. If there's something's come up, I don't know. I'd like to know if it's going to hurt the opportunity for the grant if we do table it for 2 weeks. I don't know if you can answer that or not, Mr. Tibbetts.
Would you get Mr. Tibbetts up here?
Yeah, we'd like to. I think the chairman, that's my job.
Yeah.
Thank you. Terry, if you'd like to explain how these guys are helping you by postponing this for general aviation, you're welcome to come forward.
This is not a help. We have an opportunity to receive a grant that we have already rejected. And the state is giving us a chance to come in and reconsider. And I believe that what will happen when they hear something as obvious and as a no-brainer as this would be, and they hear that you need another 2 weeks to think about it, it is my opinion that the state will simply do what we asked them to do in the first place, and that's put the money somewhere else. There is a lot of opportunity at this airport. My hands are completely tied. If I can't get your support on this, you do not need a director, you need a caretaker. Someone to sit there and make sure that no one totes the airport off in the dark. You do not need an airport director because there's nothing to direct. There are no projects. There's no construction. There are no grants that we can apply for if we can't get this one. And I have to say that I'm extremely disappointed if you profess to support general aviation, and this is how you do it.
Thank you.
Question?
Sure.
Yeah.
You explained this morning, I thought you did a great job. This fence would not even qualify for the TSA fence, correct?
That is correct.
But you can't even put it up unless FAA grants you an exemption to do so.
That is correct.
What would that exemption allow specifically?
I am not an environmental expert, so I'll tell you what I've been told, and I would have to fact check this to see if all the facts are correct. But it is my understanding, and it's not the FAA, it's the Georgia Department of Transportation. It is my understanding, maybe Scott can help me with this one, that they have the authority to override an environmental assessment if it is in the interest of safety. And what they have told me is that they are willing to go try to do that and get us what is called the category exemption for this project and this project alone, so that we could proceed on safety grounds with this project. We already know, as Todd has pointed out, that this is likely to be challenged. They know that, and they were willing to go pursue that and fight for that, because they apparently feel that they are in the right and that they can proceed with this project. However, if you delay for 2 weeks, you're into November, then you're into the Christmas holidays. This is government FY money. It will expire in June. That would leave us only 6 months to proceed with the project. And I would see no reason why they would continue to put this money at risk. The good stewardship thing for the state to do would put the money where it's wanted and where it's being asked for and where it would be supported by the local government. And my expectation is we would lose this funding. So I believe your action tonight will put this grant at risk. That's my opinion, which is all I can give you. Any other questions?
There's been an election, and I agree with Mr. K.B. Coggins. There's been an election, and the people spoke. And they elected a chairman that was 100% behind general and commercial aviation.
That's a lie.
And the people spoke. He got elected over 3 anti-airport people. So I told you this would happen. Thank you very much for everything that you've done. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I would like to make a comment. He didn't openly run for the airport commercialization. Matter of fact, I feel like he ran from that each year every chance he got.
Okay. There's a okay.
Before we move on, I've been on this board a year and 10 months, and I know why I ran. I know why I was elected. People knew where I stood then, and know where I stand now. There's been no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I don't support commercialization. I think Terry Tibbetts has exemplified a great director out there at the airport. He shared his thoughts with me, but more important, he asked me my thoughts. He cared he wanted to know what I thought. And I appreciate that, Terry, more than you'll ever know. I told you that then. But in the year and 10 months I've been in office, there's been several votes that I was cornered into, pushed into, and I voted. And I wasn't happy with my vote, but I was cornered up and trapped. I don't want to be trapped in another vote. I don't want to be cornered up and say, okay, if you don't do this, it's going to happen. I don't know, Terry, if you're right or wrong about this money will disappear if we don't support this tonight. I don't know. I don't know if you know. But I know that you said it was your opinion that this is what would happen. And I think probably if this thing's put to a vote tonight, it'll pass. I thought it would be wise, and I guess I planted the seed that one time we don't table this thing and think about it, talk about it just a little bit. And I think sometimes we make unwise decisions because we get too hasty with things. We get too quick. I can understand Terry's frustration. He's worked hard. He's, to my knowledge, done everything within his power to make this thing work, to make a good showing. And you're to be commended for that, Terry. I want you to know that. If y'all want to vote on this tonight, I withdraw my second. If that's what you want to do. But I don't think it's in the best interest of the county, the taxpayer's dollar. But if you want to vote tonight, you're the commissioner, okay. I'm good with it. I'll withdraw my second.
Well, he's withdrawn the second, so now there's a motion to table without a second.
Let's discuss a little bit more.
So,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I appreciate the cautious approach from all of you. I've seen times where I think all of us have had to say, well, why don't we stop and think this through for a minute, and I appreciate that. approach. Just what I would ask, is there anything that can be done or discussed here to answer any questions or concerns that you might have that would avoid the table? And I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but I just ask an honest question. Is there anything that we can hash out here?
Well, one of the things I was hoping when Terry and I talked this evening, I'm not real familiar with the process on the exemption, but I'm not so sure that Terry is either. I
That's
think
correct. You're right.
Okay, so I don't want to speak for you, but it looks like somebody in the audience may know something. So Scott?
I'd just like to add, I'm familiar with this with the highway projects we do. There are certain categories of projects that are so minor in nature that they do not require an environmental document. And I assume something like painting the runway, changing light bulbs, and even something to the level of fencing does not require a full environmental document. So it's a very low-level project. It's a category that is accepted, or excluded, I should say, from the environmental process. The next level would be an environmental assessment. Those are things that we typically do on a road, but anytime we can, if we can work completely in the right of way, we're not impacting properties, we're not turning a lot of dirt, a lot of times we can achieve that kind of approval for minor projects with roadway work as well. So I think this is an opportunity. It may even be looked at as extending some money to the county, and I'd be cautious to not turn it back or to not approve it myself if it was being done on the highway side.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah.
I got one little thing. This morning, Terry brought forth a bit that, you know, if a plane's coming in, I don't care if it's a big dog that's on that runway. And it can happen. We all know that it has happened. You know, that was food for thought for me. And I don't feel like that was putting pressure on us to approve it or not approve it. I just don't fully understand what all is going on, and so I was hoping we could table it, discuss it some more, but there seems to be always some urgency to things, and I'm uncomfortable when I'm forced to make a decision, but I still move on. I'll hush.
Terry talked to us this morning. I think he made it clear that the fence is a wildlife fence only, wooden post. The last time it was discussed, they had some security type fence, TSA type fence up, and then the rest of it wildlife. But this is all wildlife going from the existing fence all the way around the whole project with the wooden post. You mentioned that the would you ask him to come back up here?
Terry, they're asking for you to
Trying to make sure you have your exercise, Terry. You mentioned, we mentioned this morning that fence could not be modified in any way. That you know, we don't see it happening. We don't want it to happen. But if at any time they need a TSA fence, it would have to be a totally separate fence. Whether they took that one down and put one up, or they built another one beside it.
This is woven wire wood post. It is
Right.
not chain link steel post, which would be the security requirement.
Okay. You showed me the letters from the FAA that you've received, and so basically it's about the safety of the runway
That is correct.
and keeping the wildlife off the runway, period.
That is all it's about.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add right now while we're in discussions and talking that you'd like to say?
I'm done. I'll answer any questions, but I have nothing to add.
Okay. Is there anything else any other commissioners would like to ask?
There's a motion.
There's a motion, there's not a second
There's not
now.
a second. And Do you have anything else, does anybody else would like to discuss right now, we can discuss?
Mr. Tibbetts, in your opinion, by accepting this motion passes, it does nothing to enhance commercialization.
That is my opinion. That is correct.
Thank you.
And then at this point, if it was accepted, then at this point, basically what they would still have to get the exemption, and they would start that process then
They're waiting on us to start that process.
to see whether or not we'll accept or not.
That's correct.
There's a motion that fell for lack of a second. Is there another motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and second. Any other discussion?
Is there anything else anybody would like to say before we vote?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
It passes 4-1. There are items from the 2 p.m. planning session. In fact, I think there were 3. 2 got tabled. There is a
If I could add that we actually, part of the consent agenda called a planning commission meeting for November 27th at 2 p.m., 28th, is that right? 29th, I'm sorry, got that wrong. November 29th at 2 p.m., and that's when those 2 forward applications will be heard. And that'll be on your agenda for the December, that first meeting in December.
2016-02 TAA application by Artesian Built Communities for a text amendment to change the Paulding County zoning ordinance, Article 8, Section R3A, Low Density Quality Residential Development Overlay District. Recommendation for approval 5, 0, and 1. And again, these were text amendments. Anything else we need to add to that? And the call?
No, the language that's before you was the language that the staff recommended, so this is it's a longer than what the applicant originally asked for, but he agreed to it.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It carries 5-0. That's a regular meeting is concluded. There's no executive session. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.